Apparently, the UN rapporteur agrees that the transition process in the Gambia is very slow.
Yeah, but the transition is broad. The transitional justice process is broad. It includes the security sector reform. It includes political reforms. It includes legal reforms. Includes economic reforms.
All of which are going at snail's pace.
Yeah, but
best.
I think that's an unfair statement from the UN report. Whoever said that, it's an unfair statement because considering the circumstances,
they are funding the transition process.
But exactly. But when you want to one cap doesn't fit all. If you want to replicate what's happening in some other country, think Gambia can use that same pace. It's not possible. We have our contextual uniquenesses. We have our differences. We cannot expect that because you applied the same method in a particular country, and this was the pace. You won't expect the same thing in Gambia. It's different. We have cultural differences. We have social differences, political differences, attitudinal. We have many differences. So you don't expect. One thing I can tell you, this government has the political will at the highest level to ensure that the transitional justice process goes smoothly. But transitional justice is not a destination. It is a process. It will go on. It will go on and on and on. You see, anomalies and faults and failures in the system, these are institutional failures, human, personal failures. For 50-something years or 20-something, you cannot expect people to rectify it in 2-3 years. It's not possible. Now, the country was undergoing a transition. Now, you have the legal reforms that you need to do. You have the political reforms. You have the economic reforms, the social reforms. You have the security sector reforms. And with the limited resources that we have as a country, and with the other priorities as well, you don't expect us to do what other countries have done. What we can say, and that we can confidently say, is that the Gambia is doing well insofar as these reforms are concerned.
How? What can you say to justify that we are doing well? Something as basic as Gambians outside this country being given the ability to vote, take part in their elections. You need 8 years to make that happen?
But it could even take more than that, because remember, our voting system, and that's what I'm saying, circumstances. Our voting system doesn't cater for diaspora voting, because our voting system, based on our...
Change it to include the diaspora.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not easy as they just change it. It's going to take some time to change it. Let me tell you, for example, in the Gambia here, before you vote, you must be registered in a constituency. There are no constituency boundaries in the diaspora. These things has to change as well.
Senegal created...
But Senegal has a different voting system. Senegal has a different administrative system. So you cannot compare the French system and the way we do things in the Gambia. So because Senegal did it, it doesn't mean we can do it.
Economically, the diaspora has been declared a constituency because they have money that your government needs.
But legally, in the constitution, in the electoral laws, the boundaries have not been set as constituencies like the Combo East, Combo West. When you register to vote,
let the president and the justice minister, all right, raise a bill with a certificate of urgency, just as they did for the former president's remuneration bill and whatever, and send it to the National Assembly so that the constituency
you are speaking like it's just as easy as that. Now, the diaspora...
Apparently, the former president's bill was as easy as that.
No, but you see, you cannot compare oranges and apples. What I'm trying to say is that... But if you give me the chance, I can elaborate.
Yes,
for the public to understand what is happening.
What is happening?
The diaspora is not only in the US or in the UK. The diaspora is in Asia, in Southeast Asia, in Far East Asia. The diaspora is in Africa. The diaspora is everywhere. How do you now demarcate these boundaries into constituencies across all these spaces? It's a difficult task. Second, our voting system, the marble and the drum, it's not fit to be exported to other countries to do. It's difficult. So that is what we are doing is now, currently what is happening is that, you see, the government of the Gambia is aware of the diaspora's contribution to national development, and we appreciate it, and we applaud the diaspora, and we see them as critical partners in national development. No doubt about that. But these things will have to take some time for us to do this, because these are first-time things that we're doing for the first time.
So how much time do we need?
Well, I know one thing, I cannot give you a time now. What I know is that the commitment is there, and we are making efforts to ensure that the franchise is extended to every Gambian, no matter where you are. That is what the government wants, and that is what we are working towards.
Are we saying categorically, unambiguously, that the diaspora should not even think about taking part in elections in 2026, 2027, 2028, the next cycle?
I cannot say that. What I can say is that efforts are being made to ensure that the possibility arises where the diaspora are given the franchise is extended to every Gambian. Now, how that will happen, I don't know. It's not my area of expertise, but I know that the commitment is there. If we're able to do it, it will happen. And that is what we have no reason not to extend the franchise to every Gambian. What is the reason for that? Because we want Gambians to take part in our elections in every possible way. So it's not like it's a deliberate attempt to disenfranchise a particular group of people. No, that is not happening. What we are saying, there are challenges in ensuring that people in diaspora vote because our electoral laws and systems were not meant to cater for them. We need a complete overhaul of the laws, both electoral laws, the constitution, but also operational aspects of elections, for that to be a complete overhaul for that, because when we are making these laws and these operational processes, they were not catered for at all. So if you want to cater them in, you need to do a comprehensive overhaul of the entire system, and that is not an easy job. That cannot be done in 1 or 2 years. That is the fact.
Yeah, okay. So 2026 definitely.
So going back to the Mansakunda about the TRRC reforms, I know, like I said, there are many reforms within the transitional justice reform. We have the legal, but the focus was the TRRC. And I see many people unfairly making statements that the government has no political will in implementing the TRRC recommendations, which I think is so false and is so unfair to make such statements. Because why? So out of the 263 recommendations from the TRRC, and each recommendation is an entire program of its own. It's not like, okay, you just have come and tick the box, okay, the recommendation one way. No, it's a process. 190 something are ongoing as we speak. 15, I think 15, if I get it right, 16 are already completed. Only 50 hasn't started.
Of the 16 that are completed, or 15? Of the 15, you know, what and what has been completed?
Well, for some of the most illegal, the victims reparations bill, and I cannot say exactly which ones. I can go and find out, but I cannot speak exactly. But I know that the data we are getting, and this was said in the Mansakunda by the Ada Passion, who is responsible for post-TRRC, that out of the 263 recommendations, 190 something are currently ongoing at the same time, in parallel, and which is also a very complex thing to do. But remember also, these are recommendations that had to do with failures in the system, institutional failures in the system, but also social failures, political failures, cultural, in the system, leadership failures that had been ongoing for many years, for decades. And we don't expect us to come and just change it. If we want it to be successful, we need to do it right. It's not about when we arrive. It's how we arrive and what we're able to achieve. We can push these things and just tick the box. Okay, recommendation completed. That's it. No, but then again, it's gonna... To
be honest, that's what many people, feel about the way government is going about this. Okay, let's just say yes. No. That will calm them down.
Otherwise,
and then, we
would have come and say, we are done with the transitional justice. And people clap for us.
You cannot say that because we are seeing.
That's what I'm saying.
We are not blind.
No, that's what I'm saying, that many people who even speak about the TRRC don't even know a single recommendation of the TRRC. Sometimes what I observe in this country is people just speak for the sake of speaking. They criticize because they want to criticize. They don't criticize based on facts. When you criticize based on facts, we can debate about these issues and we can now bring the facts to you. But people just say, well, TRRC is slow. You don't even know what it's about. You don't know what it entails. You don't know what the recommendations are. You don't know what is the implementation plan to implement this recommendation. What is important is that 190 something is currently ongoing. That's a big achievement. 16 is completed. Now we have 50 that is yet to start. And remember, these recommendations, to implement them, it has cultural implications, political, social, and so on and so forth. So it's not like it's easy. What this government is doing, Peter, is to ensure that we deliver a transition in a very difficult context. Remember, we are doing this within the dual shocks of the pandemic and the war in Ukraine and Palestine.
But
it's a fact. It's not a history. It has implications still now.
We're still feeling the residual effects.
Of course, yes. Why are people still saying, some people argue that the reason for Africa's challenges today is because of slavery and neocolonial and colonialism, even though we can see its history. But no, we still are feeling the aftershocks of these very serious incidences.
So likewise the pandemic.
So the pandemic is not only Gambia, it's reverberating across the world. Many countries are feeling the aftershocks of the pandemic. So it's not like it's easy, but people need to understand that we as a government are ready to answer questions. We are ready to debate on issues and bring out the facts. What is unfair is when people now who have no idea about what they are talking about make allegations against the government, which is not true. I mean, this is our government. The government belongs to every Gambian. I think we all need to be
And that's
able
why
to
every
promote
Gambian should be allowed to have an opinion on the
of
government.
course, and hold us accountable. That is why we are very transparent and we are ready to be held accountable. That is why we give the opportunity to come and answer questions and talk to the public. But what is also unfair is when you always want to paint your country in a very negative light for no reason. Because you don't like one or two people in government. I mean, that is unfair, Peter.
Let's move on. I mean, you are very busy with, other nationals today, and we credit you for that. But the next set of guests, are on time from the U.S. I mean, I understand a country that you like to travel to a lot. One thing, there's an NPP student wing now, not just, an NPP youth wing. There's an NPP student wing that was, they had their secretariat inaugurated at the weekend, I believe, on Sunday. What's its purpose?
Well,
and don't tell me you're not NPP.
No, I'm not. That's not gonna be my answer. My answer will be, it's simple for political parties to have student wings. I'll give you, this is a global phenomenon. Labour, they have their student wings.
We are familiar with youth wings.
That's what
student wing is a new thing
but
now.
Even students. Yeah. I remember the incident at there was an island in Norway called Utøya when this right-wing extremist neo-Nazi went to the Utøya and killed some young people. His name is Anders Breivik.
Yeah.
You know the children he killed? These are kids, students who are affiliated to the Social Democratic Party in Norway at that time. And what happens is that political parties are built on the foundations of ideology and principles and values. And you want to instill these values into everybody who believes in those, and particularly students. So you create these students' wings to start the discussions and shape the ideological trajectory of the party and their principles. So nothing is wrong with that. So when Anders Breivik looked at these students and realized these are the students who will grow up to become social democrats, he went to Utøya Island and killed 87 students.
He decided to try to liquidate.
Exactly. So it's very normal for student wings to affiliate themselves to political parties, as long as the politics is not brought inside campus in a manner that will impede academic freedom or that will impede academic progress. But student wings happen.
Is that advice you are giving?
Of course, yes. You don't. I mean, the university is a politically neutral space. Okay. You cannot bring partisan politics within the university. Okay. But student wings can be formed. They can converge. They can discuss. They can shape ideological. They can have ideological discussions. They can affiliate to political parties. What is not perhaps in line with university rules, and it's not me, Ismaila, saying, is the university should be seen as a space for academic freedom and a space where academic progression takes place, and not partisan politics in a manner that will deviate students from what is the true purpose of university education. But nothing is wrong with students being formed and affiliated to a party. The UDP has a student wing. The UDP has a student wing as well. So it's not like it's the NPP that started. The UDP has a student wing. And they're existing. In fact, they started before the NPP. So I see nothing wrong really with that. So
the NPP is copying you?
No, they're not copying. They are doing what they think will really be strengthening the very foundations of the political party by making sure that students take part in politics and they are shaped and the ideological values of the party are instilled in them while they are students, so they grow up to hold leadership positions within the party.